Okay, 6:30, we'll start the meeting of the Farmers Branch Historical Preservation Restoration Board. First agenda item is to consider approval of minutes for October 25th, 2023, and take appropriate action. I take it everyone read the minutes. If there are no changes, do I have a motion to accept?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Christian, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Second item, receive an event center update and take appropriate action. Event center update?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I asked Lynette and she said there are no updates.
Okay.
I like that. I will say, and I don't know if this is an official update, I saw on the socials that you're taking reservations now, and that's live, and that's out there, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's coming along. It's really exciting.
It is, it's very
Oh,
exciting.
really?
I didn't, when was the date it's open? I'm gonna write that down. The date is supposed to be
I
finished.
have not officially heard of a date, but I will ask and I can let you know.
Because I think last time, did we say next year? Or is it, it's not this year, right?
No.
It
It's
would be
like,
2024,
yeah.
yes, but early spring is my understanding, but I haven't heard an exact date yet.
okay.
But yes, early spring.
Discuss the Historical Parks mission statement and take appropriate action.
This was put on the agenda by Missy, and then I didn't hear anything else about it. I was gonna update, and I don't know if it came about after the biannual presentation, because I know all of the boards have their mission statement and vision statement on the biannual updates they give to city council. And so, we got word that we no longer have to include that in the biannual presentation, mission and vision, so that frees up one of the slides. So I don't know if this was referring to that update or anything else, but we no longer have to include that. I didn't know if she wanted to discuss the actual mission statement or not, but I just put a comment in here as far as if it was discussing the change things. Since we are going to be doing our master plan, normally that's when things like that are reviewed. They do a full, with the master plan now done is not just a master plan, it's also interpretation, it's a preservation plan, it's historic structures reports, it's a multi-layer covering everything. And one of the items that will be reviewed will be the master plan. So if there's ideas of updating or changing or anything at that time, that will probably be the best to.
When is that occurring?
So we have the master plan to be done this year. It's in, on our strategic goals for this fiscal year.
Okay.
So we have to do it in December?
For the fiscal year that just started in October.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have the draft ready to go. We'll have to send out for bids for consultants and everything and get all of that back and be able to move forward.
Well, I think since Missy's not here and she wanted it on the agenda, that perhaps maybe we vote to table it till the January meeting when Missy's here so that we can understand exactly why she
Yeah.
put it on.
Yeah, I mean, the notes say that to discuss it with the newer members, it seems like a fair amount of the board is turned over, so just to make sure we're up to speed and potentially provide feedback, but absolutely agree when Missy's here.
Yeah, yeah. So is everyone in agreement that we table it to January?
Yeah.
when
Need a
Missy's
motion?
here? Hey, I don't think we do, but if we want to keep it, official, we probably should have a motion.
Take appropriate action.
I make a motion to table the discussion until January's meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, everyone agree?
Agreed.
Aye.
Just for clarification, it's because there's no meeting in December, correct?
Right.
Correct. Receive a status report on the STEPS program.
This is another one that Missy had put on there, but I do have in your packets, should be included kind of the breakdown of where we are with the STEPS process. So STEPS is with the AASLH, which is the American Association of State and Local History, and it is a self-study, self-paced assessment program specifically for smaller, medium-sized historic organizations, so museums, historic sites, historic house museums, things of that nature, libraries. And it helps to go through all the processes, the paperwork, the core documents, to begin the process of becoming an accredited museum. STEPS does not make you accredited, however, it helps you get lined up to go with that process. So the STEPS was started here, actually before I started working with the city. Our previous board members wanted to work towards accreditation, and so a lot of the different sections that they have listed here is divided into 6 sections, which cover the mission, vision, and governance, audience and community engagement, interpretation, stewardship of collections, stewardship of historic structures and landscapes, and management. And with those, it's a workbook that you go through and assess the questions, where you answer, making sure it's basically that you're good stewards of your museum. You're following all of the guidance, the museum code of ethics, the laws and regulation of doing up to the best that you can for your historical institution. And so with that, each chapter or each section, they have 3 levels, basic, good, and better. So it's bronze, silver, and gold. And you fill out each section, send them in, and then you can get certificates for each. So currently, we have earned the following certificates for mission, vision, and governance. We have the silver and gold, so that's completed. Audience and community engagement, we have silver, but we actually are ready to send off gold. Interpretation, we have gold. Stewardship of collections, we have not sent off any certificates because I wanted to wait until we hired a curator, which I'm very happy to say we have a candidate, and we're going through the paperwork process right now, so hopefully that's going to be put through very quickly, and then she'll start by mid-December, hopefully. And then, because I really wanted our curator to be part of the STEPS program and their ideas and vision and feedback for the collection before we continued on with it. So excited to have that completed. Stewardship of historic structures and landscapes, we have a silver, and that's probably ready. That one we could do gold, but I wanted to hold off since we will be doing our master plan, which I'll follow back in a second. And then management was bronze, and the only reason I remember why we didn't go for silver yet, had to do with the master plan. So pretty much we will be ready to do gold on the ones that are remaining once the final, our master plan is complete. All those selections, or all the different sections will be completed, and then we'll have gold across the board. And then that's one of the many steps to move forward with getting, applying for AAM, which is the American Alliance of Museums, and trying to get accredited, which is a very long process. It takes a couple of years. There's a whole lot of steps to it. I was going through and kind of explaining to someone else of, I wish I could have like a little 30-second blurb that I could tell you and make it super easy to process, but as we all know, with museums and rules and regulations and guidelines and ethics, there's no easy, quick little blurb. There's a lot of layers to it, but with the master plan, there's several different steps that they recommend doing what's called a MAP, which is a museum assessment program. There's a CAP, which is the conservation and collections assessment. With the very thorough master plan that I want us to do, it will cover a lot of the sections that a MAP and a CAP would cover, so I'm hoping that we can bypass some of that. Don't know. We have to wait until we get our consultants in on it. But it'll move us along faster and be able to then eventually apply for the for AAM. But an interesting fact, because I like facts and details. So of all the museums in the country, and now this goes on just as accredited when I was looking at their website, there is 1,107 that are officially accredited as of September, is when I looked these numbers up. In the U.S., 53 of those are in the state of Texas.
Wow.
Of the 53 in Texas, only 4 are historic house museums, like what we are, and none of them are governed under a city municipality. And then I listed the ones, and actually one of the ones on the list I used to work at, and I helped them to get accredited. So helped with that process. So it is a very there's a lot of steps to it, and making sure you're following all the guidelines, but it is attainable, and I think it's something well worth continuing to go after and complete, but it will be a couple of years. But I think once we get our curator on board and the master plan is completed, then the steps process will be over, and that's super exciting, because it's been a couple of years we've been working on it.
I think that is awesome.
It's been a long time.
It has, yeah.
A long time. And so, that association has a website, and you could go on the website and it'll list Farmers Branch Historical Park, and it'll tell you in each category what certificate we got.
In our last one, when we mailed that off, when Andrew said they showcased it on the website, and then the American Association of State and Local History, that was the conference that Bonnie and I attended back in September. And they always do a recognition during that conference of all of the museums that are doing the STEPS programs, which one are completed, and where they all are in the process. And so we were recognized as being at the conference, and then where we all stood. So that was kind of a fun to be, didn't realize they were going to do that. But it is prestigious. There's a lot of steps to it, but it's nice because it's making sure we're doing things the way it's supposed to be done. And that's very, very important in the process. So yeah, it's always a good thing.
So once you obtain each certificate and each level, is there a renewal period, or is that just it, you have that level into perpetuity, or how does that work?
So for steps, once you complete it, you're pretty much good. They did, about a year and a half ago, they did update the workbook. So we have certificates from the earlier edition, and then now we can continue on with the newer. The newer edition has a few more guidelines to go by on. But once you've completed steps, there's not really any, unless they come up with something completely different, you're pretty much good with that. Now, once you're accredited to American Alliance of Museums, that one you do have to reapply for accreditation. It's about every 10 years. Okay. So they want to check to make sure you're still following those guidelines and everything. So once you're accredited, it's great, but then you have to keep up with that and then apply once the 10 years or so. And then they do come out and they assess and make sure, but it does open up, STEPS does as well, it does open us up to way more funding opportunities, because we can go through and show, we already have the core documents, so that opens us up to certain things. Finishing steps opens us up to more funding opportunities. So each step that we get, for lack of a better word, each step that we do in the STEPS program, it is better for us as far as opportunities and funding and recognition.
Is there anything the board can do to support those endeavors?
I think once we get with the curator on, and then with the master plan will definitely be, the consultants will be talking with the board, because we want the feedback from everyone, the board, our community, city staff, everything. So there will definitely be involvement with that and wanting feedback and ideas. And so that, hopefully we'll get that started pretty soon, and they'll do, what are they called, like focus groups and things of that nature, making sure our overall vision and what we want, everything's included in that plan moving forward, whether it's something we're doing right now or goals for the future that we want to attain to. So it'll be pretty thorough. I've talked to several people about it, and it's a pretty tall ask, but they do about 12 different styles of master plans, and well, master plan, preservation plans, all these different ones. So I'd like to have elements of each, so that it's kind of a one-stop shop and make it a little more all-encompassing for us, versus, oh, here's a master plan, now let's go back out and do this one and do that. And I'd rather have it more condensed, and since we are pretty far along in the process. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay. Receive an update on Historical Park current projects, events, and upcoming activities.
Let's see. I had a bunch in here. Well, I guess we'll go first with the Day of the Dead celebration. Absolutely amazing.
It was awesome.
Loved it. We had so many positive feedback. People attending, everything. We were all just thrilled by it.
How was the turnout?
It's
It was
good.
amazing. I have a couple of stories I can't wait to share. that I was shared over and over. Oh, it's awesome.
So we did our event wrap-up and showed that it was approximately 300 attendees.
Wow.
Of course, it was a free event. We had, of course, the concessions and all of the entertainment. I won't go through all the nitty-gritty details of that, but everyone had such a good time, and the feedback and the photos, if you haven't seen them online. And in fact, we got a lovely letter from Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem Omar Roman, thanking everyone about what a beautiful event it was, what a great celebration for the community, and it went on 2 pages. So when I read it, I was just like, this is amazing. So it was very exciting and very well received, and I know everyone just had such a fabulous time, and can't wait to start planning for next year and adding to it.
You know, when I first walked in, we had that little QR box that you wanted to do a survey, or did you get a lot of response from that?
I've heard about a few, but I'll check with Kim on.
I'm just curious, a lot of people took the pictures on their phone, but I wasn't sure if they would really come in. I didn't know how effective that would be.
Yeah, we're trying to do for more of our events, getting surveys and feedback from attendees, so
Right.
that way we get a lot of verbal feedback during the event. People say how much they love it and all. But we're trying to get more kind of in writing so that we can show like this was really successful, or people really enjoyed this part of it, or really connected to this part of it, or whatnot. So I'll find out more on how many of those results.
Why don't they put like a link or something in the branch bulletin and say, if you attended this event, click on this link and fill out a survey.
Or even with the pictures that posted,
Facebook,
yeah.
On Facebook, anything.
That's a great
I
idea.
mean, if people, in the spur of the moment, they'll do it, take the
And then
QR code
forget,
and
and
then
then
not
forget.
do anything.
Yeah.
But if they get, some type of communication and there's a link, they'll probably do it.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and add that too, because we can, since we posted all the pictures online, we can update that and put a link, because so many times, everyone has such a great time, and you always forget to do a review of something unless it's something maybe you didn't enjoy or
Right.
whatnot. So, the more feedback, all the way across the board, good, bad, and indifferent, we want to hear, so
Right.
we can make it the best program event for everyone. to
So
attend.
you say when pictures are online, what is that online?
On our
What's the
Facebook
website? On the Facebook page? Okay.
When you go on there, I know there's a post in the regular feed, but also if you look at the photo section, they're all listed in there, and it's got, normally we do it as folders, and it'll show for each event, we pretty much just dump all the photos in there.
Okay.
That our photographers or staff took, and then we've had attendees attach their pictures as well, because we
okay.
save all of those,
Okay.
and use them for, sometimes we use them for marketing things and grants. I know we've done pictures that we've gotten on Facebook when we've applied for a grant, but also awards. We include all of those, so it's always great to get the photos.
And the photos were lovely. They were really amazing. Very great. The face painter also did an excellent job, and he was really quick too, which was the other thing. Just, the line never got super long, which with the face painter,
Yeah.
that can happen.
And we asked about that because I know we do a lot of face paint at some of the other big community events, and sometimes that line can get really long. That's why we do the airbrushing, so that since we wanted all of the volunteers and everyone to be able to have their face paint ahead of time, and then of course all the attendees. That was of course 100% free. That was part of our event expenses. We wanted all the attendees to be able to participate with everything, and yeah, the only really that was food and drink if they chose to purchase. So,
He did such a good job, I thought.
Oh,
He
amazing.
personalized everyone.
Yeah, and I thought it really added to the ambiance to see everybody just walking around. And, even if you were a volunteer or whatnot, a lot of the people felt like they were participating. And then with the flower crowns as well, that was a fantastic craft. Your staff gets a ton of kudos.
Yeah.
We
Very
went
talented.
through, I think, 2 garbage bagfuls
Oh my goodness,
of the tissue paper
Yeah.
flowers.
Crowns. I got told the whole story, of which I didn't know, and like, you don't have a crown, you have your face painted, but you don't have a crown, and I'm like, you don't know who to pray for. are you praying for dead people, current people, problems? Because it's based on the colors.
You have to tell me all that, because people were asking why flower crowns and all this.
Oh, yeah, I got the
Let me
whole
Google that
history.
for you, I don't know, okay.
Nice.
But it was amazing,
Yeah.
and that particular craft I thought was great because adults wanted to do it, kids wanted to do it. I mean, it was really, really engaging in my opinion, and then you could just walk around and see that, and like I said, it wasn't just, coloring or, it was something that not only was fun, tactile, but then made you a participant as well, so kudos to whoever came up with that, yeah, for
I
sure.
really wanted that, because it's, with a lot of events, if it is a craft or something, it's kind of geared towards children, and let's be honest, we're all children, just in adult bodies.
That's right.
And so being able to create something that you can wear and join in even more of the festivities, that
And all the
adds to it.
performers were great.
All of the what?
Performers,
yes,
they were
yes.
all good.
Yeah, and the R.L. Turner, the dance group, they did the folklore
Yes.
show, and
Nice.
then the mariachi, and so yeah, it was a great event.
It was a good event.
Very happy with it. Let's see, what's on that?
The tasty pumpkin patch.
I wrote notes in my notes, but I can't sure forget anything. So in the packet, we have our upcoming event. So right now, charcuterie is going on in the Duxton House. That was sold out. We put our upcoming events that have just gone on sale. They're listed in here. So Mad Hatter, just FYI, our Christmas teas are sold out. So if you're interested in Mad Hatter,
that we got a seat.
so if you're interested in Mad Hatter, get early.
If you've not done Mad Hatter, it's really
It's
fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I am always, well, not always, but the past few years, the Queen of Hearts.
So,
And
Not
her
December.
fiance is the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, he does an
And he
amazing
gets
does a
chased
great
by the
job.
children
Yeah.
and.
Yeah,
They just highlighted him on social media the other day,
yeah.
which I thought was great.
So yeah, on the calendar there, it has Mad Hatter, Art Cello, and Girls Make History. That is just letting everyone know the tickets are going on sale December 1st, but the event themselves are different times. So Mad Hatter Tea is in March. It is
March
normally the first Saturday in March.
Yeah, I think it's like March 4th or something like that.
Yeah, March 2nd, yes.
Oh,
So,
got
but the tickets go on sale December 1st. Art Cellist Summer Camp, tickets go on sale December 1st, but the dates of the camp are in June. Girls Make History Camp, again, on sale December 1st, the dates of the camp are in July. But all of those three normally sell out, so we like to let people know, if you're interested, purchase early. I've mentioned the Christmas teas are completely sold out, all 4 seatings, sold out in less than a week, so that's exciting. Our Christmas exhibits, the tours, I still need to install, but those will be done before it all gets here. Celebration of Christmas traditions from around the world. And then our tree lighting, celebration of Christmas tree lighting, will be out here on Saturday, December 2nd. So that day, we will have our 2 tea seatings in the morning. So East Historical Park staff is going to be here from pretty much 6 a.m. until midnight
Oh my
doing
gosh.
both events. And I'm going to send this around again, our tree lighting signups. So we have the teas covered, and then the evening for tree lighting, which will be from 5 to 9. They're gonna have the stage and everything in the meadow. If you haven't seen yet, I don't know if it was lit up the other day, the light Christmas tree is out there. And then there'll be a stage, there's gonna be music and vendors and a whole bunch of great things with that.
Is that the drone show?
There's gonna be a drone show, which thank you for mentioning, and pass this on. We will be doing exhibit tours as well for Queen Anne and Gilbert House. I'm gonna send this around. I know I've sent it around a couple times, so if you're already on here, just ignore me, I'm just gonna send it again. And then we will be for the general store, it will be decorated, but we're doing kind of a pop-up shop in there, almost like we did for Day of the Dead. We will have our newer merchandise that we're redoing our museum store. We're going to have that available for sale in the general store. So we have those, needing help with those. The Friends are also going to be doing chair rentals. We're going to do a little bit smaller than what we had for 4th of July and Bluegrass. Since this is tree lighting's gonna be, hasn't been out here for a while. We'll just have it set up kind of where the chairs are to the other side of the fence. That way, if people who are coming for tree lighting, and since there'll be a concert and all, if they want to rent a chair, they'll be able to, but we'll keep it back in the pathway. That way, not a whole lot of people need it, we don't have to move a whole bunch of chairs out. But that's an area of needing assistance.
Blanket sales?
We don't have any blankets, but that's a really good idea. Hopefully it's not gonna be too cold. And then we had mentioned if we wanted to do a board booth, like a table or something, whether that, I haven't gotten a map yet of where everything's set up for the event, so I'm assuming that a lot of the tents and space will be taken for vendors and everything, but we've done info tables and all, like in front of the general store before, and things of that nature, so.
Why can't it be in conjunction with the Friends chair?
And it can, right there with that, because we can do the chairs, the board information, and then Keenan Cemetery donation box, so that works okay.
If you want to add the friends, like join the friends right now, I can help set up a QR code so that, I mean, because again, I don't know how you're asking people to sign up, but
We were working on redoing that flyer. Did Lauren reach out to you?
no,
Okay,
I haven't
I'll
gotten
get with her.
anybody. But, yeah, happy to help with that. I mean, I think you rent a chair, we talk about the board, and then here, join the friends right now, scan this QR code, and then there you go. I mean, that's how we do like, all of our PTO membership. It's just scan the QR code right now.
For the exhibit
we could
tours,
do that.
would you just kind of be kind of standing there and then somebody comes and does the talk and does the,
What I'm trying to do is figure out how many volunteers and help we have. So if we're gonna be doing the tours kind of rotating, or like on the half hour, on the hour kind of thing. It really depends on how much help we have. But it would be something where, if you've been on any of our other exhibit tours, especially the Christmas ones, there will be a guide in the house, and they take the group through and explain everything. And so we're doing the Queen Anne. So the theme is a celebration of Christmas traditions from around the world. So we're doing Great Britain in the Queen Anne, and Germany in the Gilbert House. So those will be the two stops, and then people, looks like I'm still figuring out the timeline of if we're going to have them continual or on the hour, kind of thing like that. That all just depends on how many volunteers we have, since we have some staff that'll help with the teas, and then they won't be able to be here all day. So that's where I'm figuring all that part out, but I will let y'all know as it gets closer what the definitive, and it'll probably be just a select time. Because there'll be so many fun activities going on out in the meadow, so we want to pull people away to our exhibits, but I know there's going to be a lot of fun stuff they want to see as well. I have a letter here I'm going to pass around. So in the past, when we've done any of our Independence Day bluegrass, whatnot, we've used the historical parking lot for VIP and volunteers and all. This year they are using it for the drone show. So I have a letter, if you want to take one and pass. So for any of our volunteer staff, everything that tells you where you can park, which is basically Counter Sources parking lot, right over there on Ford Road.
Well, this is just for December 7th.
Yeah, that's just for the tree lighting event. If you're able to attend that, that tells where to park. I watched some video on it. The drones, they have to space them out so they can all take off. So they need the space of the parking lot, so.
It's basically just park where everybody else parks, right?
Exactly. But the Counter Source is a tad bit closer than the other, so, but that was a letter that Maria put together, and gives you all the info on that. Any questions, should I miss anything? Any questions on tree lighting?
No
is there actually going to be a tree lighting or?
There is a tree out there.
Oh, okay.
The big tree is over at Liberty Plaza.
Right.
And then I saw today, there's another tree at the Grove.
Right.
But we do have a smaller green, all-light tree out there.
Okay.
And then I know they're putting in a stage, so then there's a drone show. So I'm not sure how it all, I haven't seen the schedule yet of how all that works out of, I'll light up, but it's gonna be beautiful.
Is there going to be a Santa?
Last I heard, yes, and they're supposed to be
Oh,
in.
it said in here,
gazebo.
Santa, from 5:15 to, yeah, it says right here.
Yeah, that they, last I heard, we were gonna set it up kind of as Santa's house, the gazebo, with photographs and all of that. the elf stage, all the vendors, the silent disco.
Ooh.
I've seen, not a Christmas one, but I've seen a silent disco where everyone wears like headphones.
So fun.
I'm curious to see how it all works.
Hilarious.
It's so fun.
Hilarious.
I went to one where they had, there were actually two DJs, and you could either do the green button or the blue button, so everyone's just doing all this crazy stuff. and
That's what I
it-
did.
It was so
But
fun.
people sing also, and they
Yeah.
don't realize that they're
Yeah.
singing loud, and you have 10 or 15 different, it is hilarious.
It's really fun.
I did not participate, I watched though, and they were cracking me up.
So it'll be a good area to take photos of.
Yes, yes.
video.
And video.
And what is it called again? The
Silent disco,
silent disco?
Yeah, I know they're doing that, and then if you go to Christmas in the Branch, the website, I know they have a lot more listed on there, the different entertainment and everything that's going to be food and whatnot, so I'm excited to have it out here. It'll be fun. Beyond that, we have our Kids in the Kitchen, the Tipple Bombs on December 10th. And then that brings us through the holidays. We're back to the time change, so we're now closing at 5 o'clock because it gets so dark out here.
do you have issues with sort of, like the houseless wandering around? I wondered that the other
How
day.
the what?
The houseless, do you have issues with them sort of wandering around?
Not really. I mean, we've had visitors come in during our operating hours and everything, but since we lock our gates and everything at night, we have to make sure there's no one left in the fenced-in area. But no,
Good.
we haven't really had any issues or anything. Let's see. Okay, I got everything. Now, this one is not on the agenda, but I just got the notice today, but I wanted to bring it up since we won't have a meeting until January. The new city council calendar has come out for 2024, and there's been a few changes as far as for what relate to us are the biannual updates are now becoming semi-annual. That's our dehumidifier. I'll check it in a second here. And then the board chairs. Quarterly luncheons are now being moved to twice a year. So, and I'll get with Missy and let her know, and we'll go back over it in January. I'll make it an official agenda item. But it used to be every month there was a board chair luncheon, and now my understanding is they're doing that twice a year, one in January, on January 10th, and the other one in July, on July 10th. And then we also had our biannual update, so twice a year it would be presented to city council and just let them know what the board's been doing and activities and whatnot. Those are now just once a year, and it will be in November. They're splitting them between November and December. Both of those months, there's only one council meeting. So for the Historical Preservation and Restoration Board, we are the November date, and that's November 12th, 2024. And again, I'll update our calendar of events, or not calendar of events, but our board schedule that has all of our dates. I'll update that and have that for everyone. I'll probably email it to you before the January meeting, but then I'll also have copies at the January meeting. So I'll update when all of our board meetings are, and then any of these important dates that refer to the board, so you have that. The other date they mentioned is the Boards and Commission banquet is going to be April 6th. It's on a Saturday. And so we have a little bit of time with that one, and it's the Board and Commission banquet dinner. And I don't know anything else about it yet, but if you've gone to previous years, that's when they recognize each board, everything they've worked on. They announce the Board of the Year with awards, board member volunteers, things of that nature. And it's really great to recognize all the hard work that all the different members of the boards and commissions do. So the next important date is the board chair on January 10th. It's on a Wednesday, but again, I'll have all this updated for you guys. But I just wanted to mention it since it came today. And then also another update they asked us to share is there is a new director for the Parks and Recreation Department. So if y'all remember, Michael Mashburn was the director, and then now he's the deputy city manager. And then we had Rachel Aurora, and then the position's been open for a little bit. Well, Carrie Phillips was announced as the new director. And the note they have is, we're excited to announce that Carrie Phillips has been promoted to Director of Parks and Recreation. Carrie, well, this is a new role for him. It's not new. He is not new to the city. He's been with Farmers Branch Parks and Recreation Department for over 35 years and has served in various roles. So if y'all are familiar with Carrie, he's going to be fabulous. So we wanted to let everyone know about that. He actually just got his 35-year pin just a few months back. So
It was at City Council presented that to him.
yeah, it's wonderful. So yeah, it's super exciting. Let's see.
Yeah, but how long is it gonna be our
I think that was most everything for historical park projects, updates, and activities. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay. Discuss the Witness to History Award and take appropriate action. Do we have any applications?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Finally.
Yay.
Would you like to take one and pass it around? So, well, I'll let Teresa.
So Missy and I have met with,
Francis.
Francis. Glancy. I call her Miss Glancy all the time, I never call her Francis. Who is such a jewel to the park. She has done so much work for history and preservation. If y'all are not familiar, she was one of the original board members, but her claim to fame that she likes to be known for is hiring the seamstress for all the costumes and making sure that those were done. But she was also renowned for working with the Texas Historical Preservation Board for getting the third grade history in community for Farmers Branch book published and approved by the Texas Historian Committee that every third grade class teaches in Carrollton Farmers Branch. And I want to come back to that at the end because I would like to republish her book during her inaugural, if the city council approves it and everything, to give to all of the principals to every school, because it is still considered one of the, I'm going to say, less than 20 approved city historian books that the Texas Historical Board has approved.
Wow.
And the other thing that she did for CFB ISD as a board member is she was one of the board members that brought about gifted and talented special classes for all of Texas.
Wow.
She is an amazing lady, but she is very shy. You have to pull everything out of her. And we finally got her, she filled out the application and we filled out an application, but she never would sign it or attach her quote resume to it. And she finally did.
He even dropped it off, so yes.
Yeah,
that's
she
what
said, I'm gonna go to the
amazing.
park. And I'm like, when? It's been an encouragement to get her to walk this path. She has had some health issues, but she is an amazing lady. I recommend all of you to have lunch with her or meet with her. She is a jewel, and I am so excited to honor her with this.
So I don't know what the ceremony looks like because I'm new, but my daughter is in second grade and in GT. So if having a kid in GT saying,
Yeah.
thank you for introducing GT, it's my favorite subject, something like that, could be incorporated. I'm sure she would love to do that.
love it, yes.
She was my daughter's preschool teacher at Chapelville Methodist. And she introduced us to the park. And we did living history for 5 years as a family because of her encouragement.
That's amazing.
So the book you're talking about, is it the Once Upon a Time in Farmers Branch? That's the one that THC helped with, or?
That the Texas Historical Board approved for local third graders? I think so.
So there are two teacher manuals, because we do have, there's not many left of the once upon a
Right.
time. I'll have to check in to see what the copyright is, if we can republish them or
Yeah.
anything, but.
But I will be more than glad to pay for that, do whatever, donate that, or, we can come up with something to do that, because I'm sure that there's not very many schools. I went to the library, and the library is looking for their copy, because they did have a copy. Dallas County had a copy, and Farmers Branch had a copy, and neither libraries have been able to produce those copies.
Well, someone brought one last month.
Yes,
or the month before,
I did, yes.
Yes, because I have like 3 copies in my office, and that's all I know we have.
Yes.
Because they're very few and far between, but we do have several copies, so, okay.
Not,
we'll
not to
check into
expand
that.
the scope too much, but would you consider the DISD schools either physically in Farmers Branch?
Yes, I think
or-
all schools in Farmers Branch, yes, because my understanding is that if you are a school in Farmers Branch, you teach 3rd grade local history. I don't know how all that works, and I have some teacher friends looking into that with the superintendent, because I'm like, okay, and I asked lots of different age kids, and they're like, yes, we went to the historical park, and we made pumpkin pie, and we made pecan pie.
But that's how kids work. They
Yeah.
might have done the entire thing and they took away, we made a
Right,
pie.
that's- Yeah, so, yeah.
Nice.
But I really hope that we all vote, however it works, to nominate her and present her to, I guess, we present it to the city council, and the city council approves it.
It's not really an
It's not,
approval yet.
no. So, we do vote on it, so we'll have a motion and a second, and everyone approves. And once that is approved, then we give the name to council, and council, actually, the mayor will present her with the award in February.
Yeah, it's a ceremonial item.
Yeah.
So we'll submit, and I'll do the write-up and everything, and then as a, early on the agenda as a ceremonial, then the mayor will come up, read, and then present her with the award and everything.
Yeah,
And it comes
it's a
from the
plaque.
And I know last time we had just a gathering, it would be nice if we had like a little reception outside or whatever to do that, if we can work with Kim or whoever to do that at City Hall. And
We
also
do
be-
recommend that board members attend, because it is a historical board
Yes.
presentation
Yeah.
item.
But with
so-
Sammy, there was like 50 people there.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really, I'm gonna say, a formal reception or,
It's a little challenging because council meetings still continue.
Right,
So
right.
I don't know, let's see, what is this, November, December, January, February? Construction will still be going on, but even if, we can figure something out, even
Yeah.
if, we'll figure something out. But yeah, something to recognize her
Yeah.
and, I think.
Mm-hmm.
and she has just gone through some health issues, but she's doing great.
Could the reception be just before the council
Possibly,
meeting
yeah.
It
starts?
could.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we
And
could
that
have
way
it in the
everybody
Dodd
can
House
be a part of it.
beforehand or something,
Yeah.
just, and then all go over to City Hall or something. But I'll be more than glad to help with some of that.
And then,
I think it's a
again,
fact.
just another idea, but I would certainly be helpful, and maybe Ginny would be
Oh, I
able
would-
to with
I
your
would love
school,
to.
like maybe the GT students could each write, like as part of their GT curriculum, write a little thank you. I mean, if she founded GT for all of Texas, literally any school with a GT program, the kids could write, so maybe the kids from Stark and the kids from Prestonwood, the GT kids could
Yeah.
come and then, present her with a stack.
It would
of-
be she would be so on, but again, she's very much a private person, but she loves children.
Oh, she does love children.
She does love
It'd be nice
children.
if some of her former
Students.
students
Yeah.
came and everything, so.
Anyway, so
Okay.
I'm very excited.
So, we would need a
I would
motion.
like to make a motion to appoint or nominate Frances Clancy as our Living Historian Award nominee for 2023.
Do I have a second?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. She is our award recipient.
And I'm sorry, that'll be presented in, you said?
It's in February.
I'll let you know which,
yeah.
which meeting it
They,
is, but-
they typically let us know, because we encourage the board members to be there, since it's our award, so.
Yeah, and if anyone goes to a garage sale or something in Farmers Branch, look for that Once Upon a Time in Farmers Branch. I think there were 200 copies originally published. So, that's when Farmers Branch City Hall had a publishing, department.
Is it like a bound book?
It's a
Spiral.
It's a spiral and it's got kind of a tan cover, it's handwritten from,
I think-
Once Upon a Time in Farmers Branch, and it's got the big wide spirals
Yeah,
on
I
it.
think I have that.
Yeah.
So does the
Yeah.
city have the publishing rights?
That's what I need to find out, that's what I'm curious on.
Once Upon a Time in Farmers Branch.
And like I said, I've got like 3 copies of it, so I'll look at it and,
Yeah, I brought you one from, one of the other members, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was published in 1989, so I don't see it being an issue or anything, but let me find out all the particulars so that we're following all the rules.
And if you have you could also look at, I mean, a physical book would be great, but also look at making it available as an ebook for, $1.99 or
Yeah.
whatever, just available to
Yeah,
residents anyway. who would
yeah,
like
you
it.
can self-publish on Amazon for that, yeah. But I think she was so, concerned about what to add to the package. But I think if you guys look at this, Dallas County Historical Society, and the state, honoring it, yeah.
Is this all in the board packet?
This is what we, just passed around.
Yes,
But where could I find this electronically is what I'm asking.
this one came in after the board packet went out, so I can get you a copy if you want it electronic.
I would, because I'd like to reach out to the principal of my daughter's school and say, would the GT program like to participate in honoring this woman who founded the GT program? I'm sure they would, but if we had this, that would
Yeah,
be.
good idea.
Yeah, I think they came in and just dropped off the paper, and I'm pretty sure that Kim scanned it. If not, we'll get it scanned as a PDF so we can email it and everything like that.
Thank you.
Is yours a pull-out class?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just not.
Oh,
That's
okay.
different, too.
Oh, so yeah, it's the pullout. We can talk afterwards,
Yeah.
but I think.
Okay, receive an update on the Friends of the Farmers Branch Historical Park and take appropriate action.
They have not had a meeting, to the best of my knowledge. We had the chair sales at the Bloom and Bluegrass, which was wonderful. We sold out both times. We had wonderful participation, lots of discussion about Keenan Cemetery. I recommend we probably have a little write-up that people can take away, because we had people at the Bluegrass that said, oh, well, I think my great aunt or my great uncle, or I come to Farmers Branch because.
We
and I-
have Keenan Cemetery brochures, we used to. Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't we didn't have any that day. So, those are the activities that I know of. There is still a meeting to be had about swag, things for sale, and I do not know when that's gonna happen.
I mentioned all this to Lauren, so I have her down as she's gonna be the staff liaison for Friends, and I was talking to her about it the other day, so I'll follow up again, and, we can get that going, because,
And I think Lucretia, who is the person, her husband's been in
I heard that.
rehab or hospital, or, he's not doing well. So I think that's put some damper on it.
And I know Johannes, is sick right now, so,
Yes.
I think once he's feeling better and everything, probably, let's get past,
The holidays.
The
I was
holidays.
gonna say,
The one.
past the teas, but yeah, maybe first part of January. But I think it'll be great having a staff liaison to be able to take everyone's ideas and then, move forward with it. I did have a note here, the popcorn sale for Day of the Dead, the Friends paid for that, and it made $150. That's right.
That sounds about right.
Does that sound about right? And then we will be able to get and have it for tree lighting as well. So we'll
Okay.
have for sale, in the general store. And then
Okay.
all those proceeds go back to Friends.
Okay.
As another fundraiser.
Will we do chair rental for tree lighting?
Yes,
Yes.
And that's the only event coming up?
that's another one coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's normally just Independence Day and Bluegrass.
Okay. So this will be an extra, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, this will be that.
And do we have brochures for the Friends? Like a little-
No. There was no communication about Friends at the Friends booth.
So that's what I'm saying, at the Friends booth, you should have a QR code to join the Friends, you should have a QR code so that they can pay electronically even without the card reader. And then maybe it's a third one just to like learn more, or maybe that's the same one as, scan here to join, maybe it's read this and then
Maybe
join.
one straight to the Facebook page or something,
Yeah.
Let me get Lauren on that, because that's gonna be one of
Yeah.
those. And then
I could
Well,
help with that,
I
potentially.
mentioned to her
Yeah.
about that as well, that you were talking about, kind of redo the Caboose logo and how ways that can kind of be incorporated. And potentially, depending on what the vision and everything is for multicultural, maybe there's opportunities for charitable there. Once y'all
I think there,
cleaned up.
I think there will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should get a brochure for the Friends.
We
I mean,
do
the-
have those
okay.
black ones, but they need to be updated, because they don't say a whole lot.
Yeah. And Keenan Cemetery, we should put that out there too, if we're gonna
Yes.
have the donation box.
I made notes on
And,
both of those.
But we
QR
did get
codes
some
are
good
good,
donations,
but
I
I'm
think.
telling you, as an old person, old people do not like QR codes.
Which is
They want handheld stuff.
Yeah.
Put the QR code on the back of the printed thing, there you go.
There you go, yeah.
Who you calling old, but yeah.
Hey, I said as an old person, because I am.
I know someone who calls Venmo Venco, they're like, the Venco thing.
Or Vimo.
Yeah, me too. Receive an update from board members on parks, programs, events, or facilities attended in the city of Farmers Branch. If anyone has, besides the fact that we all who went to Day of the Dead really enjoyed, it was really.
So did everyone here attend Day of the Dead?
I did not, and so November 1st and November 2nd are huge days in the Catholic tradition, which is where
Also.
Day of the
Yeah.
Dead comes from.
Yeah.
And we had a huge event at Mary Immaculate with over 1,000 people in attendance.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure that if we did it on another date, that we could emulate a lot of stuff beside mass. We had a huge Day of the Dead altar. We had the Matachinas process in, we had mariachi. We invited people to bring candles and pictures of their loved ones, and they were able to place them. It was, and then at the end, we had hot chocolate and pan de dulce, and it was it was incredible.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was great that you did it on November 2nd, but I feel like if you did it not on November 1st or 2nd, you would have, a lot of those people would have
Maybe
probably been
continue
here.
on the
So-
third or something?
Yeah, I was not originally assigned because I thought I was gonna be camping, but the rain kept that away, so I got to be an alternate here in the church. We had 30 to 40 people in the church just sitting in the pews. We had over 300 carnations put on the altar. We had over 89 pictures, I believe.
Nice.
We had every candle used, but the stories that I loved, we had this young man come in, so I'm gonna say somewhere between 13 and 16, and they did a great job telling about things, so I was just kind of here really thanking people after they left, and he's like, can I go somewhere and write? And he went in the back where we had that beautiful table set up, and he started crying.
Oh.
And I was just like, so I went over, I'm like, he's like, no, I'm fine. And then he came out and he's like, is there a needler somewhere? And I said, well, there's a step to the altar. And he came up here and started crying again, and I was just like heartbroken. And there were people coming and going, and he went up and I think he put a stack of 40 notes or whatever, and he came back and he said, I got to do this for my abuela and blah, 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 and now I get to do this for so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I needed this. I haven't been in a church since I did it.
Aw.
And he was so excited, and he left smiling.
Sweet.
And then I had this from India couple come in with all the dots and saris come in, and they said, we do something very similar. And we've never done it in the US because we always think it's Catholic. I said, oh no, this is a community altar. Everyone's welcome. They were on their phone calling people. All of a sudden, all these incredibly dressed ladies
I
and
love
saris
that.
coming in, and they took all the candles and they came and I don't know, they did their little ceremony, did this little dance up here. It was amazing. And then we had this little girl, maybe 6 or 7, and they had told her to take 1 or 2. And she ran back. I need like 6 more, because I have people I need to pray for.
Oh,
And she ran back and she's like, no, I think I need 300. And I said, well, maybe you can say one's for your school and one's for your family and one's for, and she's like, that's a great idea. She went up there and she danced around and she put all the flowers and she moved all the candles and she came back and she, I prayed for everybody. And she just danced out.
Sweet. Did you do one large altar or? did you-
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
That's
There's
nice.
a large community altar,
Nice.
like we've done before, like Teresa was saying, that we had candles and flowers and note cards where anyone could
Nice.
write a message, leave a photograph, and then place it. And then in the schoolhouse, we had a altar set up representing Farmers Branch resident Juan Hernandez, who is buried at Keenan Cemetery. And in previous Day of the Dead celebrations, his family still lives in the area, and they have come and we did an updated oral history with them. They brought in more photographs, so that's added to our collection and everything, but he was spotlighted.
That is really powerful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It really was a good event. I came in here to the altar before, because I volunteered until almost the end, and that altar was full. It was full.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it was full, so.
Yeah, Bonnie sets it all up and already has, a great deal of stuff to give people ideas if they're not familiar. But then just people coming in, and we encourage them to bring copies of photographs and whatnot. But then that's why we have things that they can put it, if, they didn't bring anything. So a larger portion of the stuff is what people said, and it's just, it's great to see. And
And it was great watching, especially older ladies walking through the park, coming towards the church with photos in their hand, of their husbands or,
It's really powerful.
whoever. Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling people, thank you for coming and, whatever, and I got hugs and I got thank yous, and it was, we had this little old man and he sat in here, I'm gonna say for like 2 hours, and he said, this is the best church ever. He said, it's plain, it's simple, it's where God would be. And it was awesome. I mean, the people said the most
Sweet.
wonderful things. It was really, for the people that came, it was very needed.
That is sweet.
And that was the point, we wanted
Yeah.
to be able to have a place to come and celebrate the holiday, but reflect on your loved ones. And so, it's not a somber event, but you are reflecting,
Right.
and so
Right.
that, it's a nice mix.
Yeah.
I have one suggestion, just for the volunteers and potentially the staff as well, providing any material, because I kept getting asked, well, why do people wear flowers in their hair? And I was like,
We had
I don't.
educational, but I mean, I've gotten over there. We did, we probably need more. Educational flyers, one side was in English, one side was in Spanish, and it kind of
Nice.
gave the whole breakdown of the holiday and what each thing means and what it is.
Yeah, maybe just to make it to where.
Have you watched
the-
Have you watched?
Oh, yes, of course. And I mean, I
That'll
did,
cover it.
I did like a basic Google and I'm familiar with
Right.
the concept, but then she
Yeah,
was
like I
talking
didn't know
about.
anything about the crowns, and they went, and they told me all about the crowns, and I'm like, oh.
I mean, I
know this.
Googled it and Google was like, oh, it just represents the bounty of Mexico and the beauty of the colors. And I was like, okay, that's what it means. I don't know.
Well, I will make
So-
sure we have way more of those next year.
Well, the marigolds, I mean, everything has a very
Yeah,
specific.
yeah, and I knew about
meaning.
marigolds
The water, having
specifically.
the glass of water and having the little trail, like everything has it's
And then
really
each
beautiful.
layer, each tier of the altar, and of course, we do have our fabulous educational video that Elizabeth helped.
Oh,
put
did you
before.
have, did you?
It kind of explained the altars, but then all the other aspects, because so much is on the altars and what each thing represents there, but then there's so many others, so I made a
really
note to make
beautiful.
sure we have way more of those.
Oh,
and,
good.
we
Yeah,
can do
I
that.
would come to a day class on that. I would probably need it.
Yeah.
For next year, if you could pull off, which I could help you with that, having matachines, the traditional Aztec dancers, like that's a very real part of that. That would like kick up the game up 20 notches.
And then even a poster that explains the colors.
Sure, the matachines, and they process in, and it's really beautiful. It really, really is.
There's a dance company that has come to my daughter's school that does the traditional Aztec dance.
Oh, there you go. That's
And
good.
I cannot pronounce it. It's like C's and H's and O's and all of that.
Yeah,
But
it's-
I can give you their contact information. But yeah, if it's, that's, I think that's what it is.
Well, that's the goal, you know, each year is to make it bigger and better. This was our first year to be able to do it as a free community event. So, we wanted to kind of see what our reception would be, and having 300 people, and that's fabulous.
300
So
is a
I would
lot
say there
of
was
people.
more than 300.
Probably, I mean, just
Felt
with,
like
It felt like it.
300 is
It was a
of
lot of people, especially towards the end. At the beginning, there were not, and,
Right.
and Kim and I were getting worried going, where are the people gonna show up? But I think it was just people getting off of work, they have to go pick up their family, maybe have dinner, although Nuevo Leon was there like they're at every event, and their Mexican corn was delicious. But, you know, it kind of took a while to get going, but, yeah. But once the performers started, I mean, more and more people were showing up, so.
and that is one thing we have in our recommendations for next year, is maybe adjusting the time to maybe 6:30, a little bit
Yes.
later, so that more people are
Yeah.
able,
Yeah.
to get from work and everything.
I would agree with
And
that.
I think too, if we did education in the gazebo, because we had so many people say, well, in my country we do this, and in my country we do this, and we had this quite a big discussion going on. Yeah, someone they were discussing the difference between yellow and orange and marigolds versus some other kind of flower, and I was like, I don't know.
It's
We don't do that in
the
Portugal.
traditional is marigold, and there's one that's called like flor de terciopelo that it feels like velvet. I actually grow it in my backyard, and it's like this red, like this deep red velvet feeling, and that's like the really traditional for a Day of the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, because someone said they used roses and they could be dried or they could be live. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, so different people do different things. And then when the Indian people came, they had a whole different,
Nice, very nice.
yeah. I was so excited that they brought more people.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and we're
Any-
all the same.
Anyone else have any comments about any other?
Just quickly, what was the purpose of the raffle? Is it because we had something there? You know, we gave away a margarita set or something?
Yeah, it was just to, like a gift basket.
Just- Okay.
And did you already talk about the Halloween with the kids? Did you talk
we
about
haven't
that last
talked about
one? Oh, okay. Well, that was pretty amazing. I was lucky enough to be able to be here, and that was a huge turnout.
That one, I think
Is
we
that
talked about
Halloween in the
it.
park?
We talked about it last
We
time.
did,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
I think, we had 700 attendees.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
really
we had
nice.
so many
Yeah,
kids.
the kids were so happy, and it was
They-
really nice.
That always gets a big draw though with the kids,
does.
always.
Yeah.
And so many moms on Farmers Branch moms said, I didn't know.
Yeah.
We're working on getting it out there more.
You guys, I mean, I feel like you guys do a great job of advertising stuff.
I think
mean,
so
Because
too.
that's been around now for, gosh.
It's quite a few years.
5 or
yeah.
6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we partner with Mansky Library, they come out and set up a little Booville and, yeah, that one's such, and then police and fire were out, so the kids could climb in the police cars and
Yeah,
fire.
and it's the perfect time because it's like right after school. So parents go get their kids and then bring them over.
And
It's a good
just for little-
size too. Like, it's not the huge.
Yeah,
And it's
thing,
not
it's
scary, it's not
Right.
overwhelming for little kids,
Right.
you know, it's just a sweet.
Exactly.
it's not my favorite,
Yeah.
because they've definitely gotten feedback of like, oh, well, it can become, it's similar to other events that are done, we're like, no, it's so special, because it
Yeah.
is just for the
Because it's
littles
just
and
for
all.
the little
And
kids, yeah.
it's, as staff, it's the easiest thing ever, and it's so much fun. I don't care what's going on. October, the fall is insanity for us, but it's like, set all that aside and get to hand out treats to little kids
Your
dressed
costume was
up.
very nice, by the way.
Mine was
It's so
awesome.
cute.
Had so much fun.
That was the last minute one. I was gonna be a trash bag, and then I'm like, I saw the big box, and I'm like, I can fit in that. That was the Amazon box. But, yeah, we love haunted houses. It's always such a fun event with all the families coming through. And 700, that's a lot. That's more
That
than
is
we
a
had
lot.
last year. So each year it's bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I would have thought that Day of the Dead was as big as that was.
Possibly, it seems. like-
Yeah, I don't know where the 300 came from.
I don't think there were 700 people there.
No.
No.
No? I mean, we were busy. I mean, I think at all times we had 50 or 60 people in here. At
In the
least.
church.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, you probably could have doubled the size of the craft table. I mean, people were taking stuff and going and all of that, so, I mean,
Well, now
busy.
we know for next year, we're all to
Yeah.
expand out, and it's a great, like I said, before we, you know, it was always a paid admission, so, we did have previous year over 100, but since this being our first year as a free community event, it's kind of hard to judge, you know, are we gonna have, you know, good turnout and all? So for it to be this successful, you know, next year's just gonna be even better.
absolutely.
So, it's exciting.
All right, any other comments about any other events? No? All right, discuss agenda items for future Historical Preservation Restoration Board meetings. Does anyone have anything they want to add to the January agenda, because we do not have a meeting in December? No? Well, if you think of something, you can always reach out to Kim, and she'll make sure it gets on the agenda. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I will make a motion.
A second?
I will second.
Christian? Sure, everyone is in favor, 7:36 p.m. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.